Welcome back to the Runz podcast. I'm pretty sure it's episode number 35, Nick.
Take your word for it. Think so.
It is episode 35.
Yeah.
Nicky Playo.
Gareth Blackwell.
Known for weeks about being injured and knocks out a sub-3 marathon in a Welsh vest. What happened?
Don't know how I got around, to be honest. Yeah. Mad in it, just, mind, fucking, I don't know, adrenaline. I don't know. I can't answer how. Like, Scott messed me up. You've been fucking having us on. I was like, I haven't. I've been injured. I look at my Strava, I've done hardly anything. And yeah, I don't know. Muscle memory, I don't know.
Well, what was that thing you had? Did you reckon that helped? The thing you had off Lee?
Yeah, that thing off Lee might have helped. Yeah, that red light therapy cupping thing, that was really good. That was. So I used that for 2 days. Obviously, foam rolled the shit out of myself all. Well, I've been doing that for weeks anyway, and the strength exercises off Georgie and stuff. Been doing it for weeks since the hamstring. But yeah, the calf was so weird. Like the week before, the Saturday when I felt it pull or strain or whatever it happened.
Yeah.
It was like really bad. And then I didn't run till a Wednesday. And the exact same feeling again. So, I told you, didn't I? I just don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
Then
I was surprised you went.
Well, I spoke to Leanne Friday, and she was like, well, Clive's still away when I'm in Glasgow. I was like, I'll get home Friday, I'll do 2 miles, and if I feel no pain, we'll just go up, because the hotel was booked anyway, so we couldn't cancel that. So we'll go up, and I'll just give it a go if there's no pain. So then, obviously, I'd done our run. Obviously, we weren't quick, and they weren't far. I called into Scott's, dropped him off his vest so he could get a PB on the weekend. Because he borrowed my vest, that's why.
Oh, makes sense, huh?
Yeah. And like I said to him, like he's like, just go up and see how it is, innit? If it pulls at 5k or feel any pain thing. And then I seen Lee, and he's like, I got this great device. Just red light, try out for a couple of days. So I did. I literally was blasting it with that for the 2 days. And yeah, I somehow got around. Like I messaged you, like the first mile, or I was in agony. Like it was really hurting. It was not as bad as when I'd done it a week ago, but I could feel the pain. I thought, it's going to go any second. And I was just thinking, this is over. I'm never getting round. But then I was like, just get the 5k, because the first 2 miles was like round the city anyway. You have to do like a loop around, come back through. I'll get the 5k. If it's still there, I'll pull out. But by the time I got the 5k, it sort of eased. I think the ibuprofen kicked in, or I don't know, adrenaline. It eased a bit. So it wasn't as throbby sort of pain. It was just, no real pain then. So I just kept in my head then. I'll get the 10k, get to halfway. And once I was halfway, it was sort of like, well, you're going back now, because it was like a big loop out to the city, round the big lane and back in. You've got to walk it, So, yeah, I just kept ticking off 5Ks. And, yeah, I was shocked I'd done it. And, yeah, pretty happy with that time. Obviously, I was looking to go there and run quicker. But then with the 6 weeks that I had leading up, I got to be happy with a sub-3. I kept a consistent pace apart from the last 7-8 miles, which was a bit hillier coming back, and just enjoyed myself.
Yeah, you looked like you enjoyed yourself, to be fair.
I did. It was a strange one, because it was quite a boring race, out in just country lanes. You didn't see many people.
Yeah.
I compared it a bit to like the original Newport, where you're just out doing loops in a country lane. You could be anywhere. Hardly any people about, the odd little village. But yeah, I just went there. I had a chance to represent Wales. It don't happen often, does it? So I did just enjoy myself. Yeah. And got round, which I couldn't believe.
Yeah. Find yourself a podcast where one host runs a marathon 20 minutes slower than the other one runs an half.
Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, well, it is what it is, isn't it?
What would you like? Like your experience? What were the Welsh team treated like? What was it like?
Yeah, really cool experience. It's a bit different to what I'm used to. I'm not in the elite sort of area of running, so we got sort of us and the English team at the race, because it started in Chester Racecourse. They had this big suite for just us to come in 7:30, which was an hour and a half before the race. You could get a massage. You had like plenty of space to chill out, do your own thing, relax, talk to the other athletes. Your family and friends were allowed in as well. It did get a bit bedlam towards the end, because it was, I don't know, must have been 100 represented England and Wales, so it was busy. But yeah, that was really good. Then you could leave your bags there, you had no stress. You could literally walk straight out to the start line. We had access, we didn't have to go around the long way to get into the pens. We was allowed straight into the front through the start inflatable. So that was pretty cool and a bit different to what I'm used to. So that was nice to be more chilled and not have to worry about toilet, that getting in your pen half hour before. You could literally 2 minutes before, and it was pissing down, so I literally left it to the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And just little jog over to the start, which was no distance away, and it was a way to go. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Same after then, back in our suite, they had the presentation for the top threes in each age and the overall winners, which England absolutely destroyed us.
Did
Yeah, ridiculous some of the times. Even my age group, on the run end, because we had to wear back bibs with your category so other racers would know we were against. I sort of was ticking off. I think I passed 2 or 3 of the Welsh guys my age, a couple of the young ones, just I'm in front of them, and I didn't know where I was overall. I didn't see any of the English V45, so I thought, they got at least 4 or 5 ahead of me, because I think they had a bigger team. We only had 4 for each group. And then they announced the times at the end. And then even my age group, 45 to 50, the winner was 2:32. Second was 2:34 and third was 2:42.
Gee.
So I was way off it. It's mad, isn't it?
Same as a footballer, only they just got a bigger pool to pick from, haven't they?
Yeah, I suppose. But I think they did have a bigger team than us as well. They had more than 4 in each age, definitely, in some of them. But yeah, it was still really good day, chatting to loads of their team after then in our little suite where we had that presentation and a chill out after. Yeah, it was good. Good mixing with other people I've not met before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone recognise you from the podcast?
No, well, no one from podcast. Yeah, no one said anything about the podcast. No, I had my Ogmore Phoenix jumper on a Saturday. A couple of people said about that. Met the guy that knows all the way. Carl used to work with him. His wife run really well in the women's. Yeah, got chatting to them. Got friends with them. Seen Ed from Ponty. He's doing Valencia with the Ponty boys. He ran real well, like a 2:39, I think he ran. So he ran really well. I think he was the 3rd Welsh home total. Yeah. So, yeah, it was good. The race was won overall. Marshall, who beat Jake at Erie last year, he won it overall, and Josh Griff was second. 2:17, 2:18. But I wouldn't go back unless it was, which I've had the emails since thanking everyone and the full results for our team. And Bernie from Welsh Athletics said they've had it 3 years there now, they're going to look to have it somewhere else. Because I know they had issues with the chips and all after to try and collate the results. But yeah, I personally wouldn't go back either. There's nothing against it. After was great, the goodie bags, the medal, the t-shirt, it's like a long sleeve top. Everything was really good. It's just the route I found quite boring and not quite testing in parts, some nice hills in it. But it's a lot of rolling lanes and a lot of lonely parts to it.
Got your medal?
It's in my box now.
You got that nice top, oh?
Yeah, there was a nice top, long sleeve, nice bit different little quarter zip, nice top. Yeah, for winter now, perfect.
Yeah.
Not a bad medal as well. Yeah.
Happy days. So what happens with Welsh selection now? Then is it just? Do you get picked again? Then are you in the team now, or is it just?
Well, I think it's on your times over the past year for the Masters. So they've said on the email I had, thanking everyone, and next year, they're going to look to move it elsewhere. Towards the end of the year, they'll announce, because they do it for 5k, 10k, half and fulls, so you can represent at anyone's if you've got a certain qualifying time and your age. So for my age for this marathon, you had to run a sub 3 in the last year, so then I had for Boston, so I put myself forward with that, and I must have been one of the top 4 for my age for this, or within the last year. So it'll be the same again from January, I'd imagine, once they announce. And then I know for the half is sub 120, so I haven't actually got to time that quick at the minute. So yeah, if it depends where it is, where and all that, and if I've got a good enough time, I'd put myself forward again, do somewhere different maybe.
Yeah. Happy days. Well done. One Welsh best between us. Awesome.
Yeah. Can clip it on our podcast, on our Insta handle. And how was your weekend at Cardiff Half and everything else going on?
It was quite a surreal weekend. I paid the price for not training. We'll get on to that. But I went down to the Cardiff running show on Saturday when me and my brother
Yeah.
went down. And I popped into the reception of the leisure centre, and there was a guy, young boy working on reception, and he was like looking down, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, do you know where the event is?" And he looked up and he went, "Whoa." He was like, "Whoa, I watched a podcast." My brother was with me. He's like, "Oh fuck, here we go," like, you know. But yeah, so that was mad. That was nice. Shout out to you if you listen to this episode as well. Thanks for recognising me. So that was cool. And then I went into the event, obviously, to pick up our socks off racked. I brought your socks home. I don't know why. I should have just dropped them down the house because I don't know when I'll see you physically next. But I've got your socks in the boot of my car as well.
Nice one.
So the Cardiff Running Show was pretty cool as well. Seeing James Thee had a chat. He said he's looking forward to coming on for a chat as well, and he'll be fresh off Barcelona. No, New York.
No, New York he's doing, New York.
Yeah, fresh
Does
off.
he know, does he, going on to that, I don't know, does he haven't done it before, have he? Does he know what it's like?
I haven't got a clue.
Well, James, if you listen, it's fucking hard. The bridges kill you.
Yeah, you won't, James. So that was that. In and out then. Went home. I stayed over my mother's, didn't I? Because it was Amy's birthday weekend, so the girls were down and they went out. And then quite an early night then on Saturday. Cardiff Half is such a long day, like. It's only an half marathon. We left at 7:30, and I think I got back in my house at like 4 in the afternoon.
Did you? Did you stay down or did you social with the boys?
Yeah, I went for a pint of Guinness with the boys. But then obviously I had to drop people back off in my steak as well, and so it was just like detour as well.
Yeah.
Good race, enjoyed it. Paid the price for putting down. I must have put down 150 last year when I booked it, so I was in the green pen, but they wouldn't let me into the red pen.
You wouldn't let you go back?
Yeah, they weren't. Well, I don't know if they wouldn't let me. They weren't letting people in with a green bin.
Oh, right. Usually they're all right. Usually they're all right with that. They usually like go in your pen and then work your way back. Usually that's okay.
So I went in a green pen anyway. I thought, fuck it. I was going to take a GoPro, wasn't it? But you got down there, and the atmosphere was good and stuff. And you thought, I might as well just have a crack now.
Yeah.
It kind of takes over, doesn't it? Planned to meet everyone outside the museum steps for a photo, and I got to the museum steps, and you couldn't see the museum past people, so mission aborted on that as well. I'm glad I didn't get the train because that was late, so they were rushing around to get to baggage as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake, like.
And yeah, class first 7 miles, cracking. I made the executive decision for every water stop, I would just grab a bottle of water and just have a walk for a little bit with the water, drink that slowly, and then crack on, and that seemed to be working. And then it just fell apart about mile 7, and my legs started cramping up, chub rub set in, and then you just get in your head end, don't you? But saying that, I'll take 77 good miles off the training I done as well.
Yeah, good start. And you go around, finished.
Do you know what the best part was? The barrage was awesome this year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe because I paced it well, I guess, innit? So by then you've normally gone out too fast. You haven't realised you've gone out too fast, and that's why you start to hit, doesn't it? But I enjoyed the barrage. That was good. So many people on the way around, like slapping me on the back and going, "Hey, love the podcast." That was a bit mad as well, like, because you're normally just under the radar and no one knows who you are.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a bit weird. We had Jono from Ogmore Phoenix nagging me when we're going down Ponty Park Run, so we need to get that sorted out.
Yeah, we have said we go into a couple and we need to sort out.
Jono, we shared a couple of miles, so we will be down. We'll figure something out in the new year. Promise, pinky promise. What else? Yeah, and then so many vests were out. It was mad, like.
Yeah, I did see like all about fair play. A load of the boys wearing them. Obviously, they had some of them had good runs as well, didn't they?
Yeah, some mad times. I think a lot of the boys, most of the E3 boys, apart Leachy went just over 2 hours, and the rest went sub 2 hours.
Yeah.
So well done, boys. Matty said he's never felt so popular in his life either, running in the vest. Nathan Smith said the same. I spoke to him earlier, and he said
Yeah.
somebody was like chewing his ear off at one point about the podcast, and he was like, "You do realise I'm not Nicky, like."
Yeah, you don't want to look this old.
Yeah, but good, yeah, really good, really good. Roth Park, and like I said, wheels fell off way before Roth Park, and that was a struggle. I've come to the conclusion that hill is actually fuck all. The problem with that hill is it's got that little downslope and a little bend where the crowds pick up again, and that gets your adrenaline pumping before you get to the hill.
Yeah. So you're on about the one coming out the Rose Park up past the cemetery, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that much of a hill, but you go in, you've come off the back of Roth Park, your head's fried, and then you got that little downhill, bendy straight kind of bit.
Bend under the bridge, don't you, and up there.
And it's ram jam there with people, and it's loud as fuck. And there's other people on the other side, innit? Because that's where the Roth Park loop starts.
Parts, yeah.
That saps a bit too much energy out of you. So next year, just got to manage that better as well, innit?
Yeah. Yeah, and it is because where it is as well, and it's like, I think it's bang on mile 12, and so it's like one to go. You're probably in the pain cave. You've got that little hill. We say little, it's quite steep, but it's not long. So that's going to hurt as well.
But then, yeah, up there then, put some meatloaf on and then full send all the way home, man.
Full send last mile, love it.
Lots of people on the deck, mind. And somebody unfortunately did pass away, we've seen as well.
Yeah. After the finish, when they finished, and then we're in trouble.
Yeah. But I see
sad.
people on the deck as well getting medical
Oh.
help as well.
And it weren't hot or anything, was this? Like, obviously it wasn't an issue with heat or over
It didn't rain at all once.
Yeah.
No. It was humid, it was close, it wasn't cold. But then again, you're running around, so who knows if it's cold. It was cold when I got home, so maybe it was cold. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, then full send all the way around to the finish line. And then disappointing finish on, really, after we crossed the line.
Yeah, you did say it wasn't the best stuff, though. It was like hardly anything, and no banana, no goodie bags.
There's always bananas in it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even empty banana boxes or anything. They had, and I've spoke to other people, and they said there was no bananas either. And I, like I said, genuine now, I'm not joking this time. I spent that last mile thinking about that banana, like.
And then it wasn't it.
Wasn't it? And it's just, I know there's a lot of people finishing, but it's not really very organised on the end as well. And it's not against the volunteers or anything. They are just helping out for the day, innit? But I think Cardiff Half and Run for Wales have got a bit of work to do on there. What else was there? I didn't grab my t-shirt. I was going to grab a t-shirt, but then I was like, fucking, I can't be asked to queue for a t-shirt either, to be honest. What else? And then they had there was no goodie bag. There's normally a goodie bag with milkshake and a Trek bar or something in there. But
some in, some supplement and advert for another race, and there's usually a little bit of something.
No, all they had was a massive box of miniature Titans. The Mars bars from Aldi.
Yeah.
I'm partial to Aldi chocolate. You know what I mean? I know some people we shop in Aldi is fine, but it's a big race. Like, get an actual Mars bar.
It's a fucking huge race. It's the second biggest half in the UK.
Yeah. Get better finish t-shirts. Get proper snacks at the end of it, because we're all fucked. We've just run 13.1 miles.
Yeah.
There was Lucasade. I don't want Lucasade at that point. Like, I've just done a Lucasade 4 miles ago. And they had, last year they had them boxes, didn't they? With there were some supplements in there, weren't there? But I think that was just all the leftover ones from last year as well, because there didn't seem to be many of them either. No bag or anything.
Weird. Like, I didn't do it last year, and obviously this year, so I can't comment. I can't remember from 3 years ago what it was, but there was definitely used to be a little bag with, like you say, you used to grab a banana, a bottle of water, and then you'd have your goodie bag and t-shirt and your medal, obviously.
Yeah, but got the medal. The medal's nothing great either this year. Photo of the stadium, you don't even pass it.
You were fuming.
I'm not. It's a great race. Everyone enjoys. It's fantastic all around there. The crowds are brilliant. Everything about it is great. Apart from what's it called? What's it called? What's it called?
Run for Wales is one of the organisers, yeah.
Apart from their contribution, like
Mm.
I done it for charity, we know that, but a lot of people paid 40, 50 quid to enter that.
Yeah, I think it's 50 quid if you're not a club member, and I think club affiliated does take about £10 off the top of my
Yeah.
head, I remember. So yeah, you're looking 50, more than 50 for some people.
Yeah. So next year,
A lot.
hang on, dogs.
Dogs going mad. He loves them all, doesn't he?
Sorry. So next year, I'm going down by the all day and I'm joining in after the first K. And if the stewards want to catch me, they can.
That's not even a K. You'll probably still get 13 miles in from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming by the, what's it called? Where's the junction? Westgate Street.
Yeah.
Pop out to there. Right at the front, just sprint off, being all the photos, lead in.
They'll say, stop, you medal, I can't, I've got another K to do.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
You've got to get to 13.1.
But good event, class event. Seen the guys from Park Rim Bath for a photo before as well. Always nice to see those guys. People I didn't get a chance to see. It's just fucking madness down there. So many people. I did make sure. Lizzie Dimond messaged me the day before and said, "Do not let the barrage get inside your head," because she still remembers the photo I showed her from last year. But I
Yeah.
was ready to go home, so I made sure to have fun with the cameras down on the barrage as well.
Yeah, that sounds like our work then, because you said you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Our socks, not for me, but our socks took Matt Varan to a new PB as well. Well done, Matt. What a fucking
Massive PB. Like nearly 2 minutes, I'm going to say. Or over 2 minutes, I think he went quicker.
He dropped Alid said. I seen him. Alid wasn't happy. He was 72, I think.
Yeah, well, just under 72, I think, when he was like 1:11:58 or something. But yeah, but I think I was speaking to Alid before it, or messaging back and forth on Saturday, I think, about the London times and how they've adjusted to like 1:11:30 and 2:38. But like he ran 2:30 in London last year, so I said you don't need to be worrying about a 1:11. So he said, "Oh fuck it, then I'm going to go balls out and go for it." Like, so I'm guessing he must have targeted 70, same as Matt, and then obviously must have fallen away a bit somewhere. Because I did see a couple of photos on Matt's YouTube video today that Alid was with him for a bit in the park they were with.
Yeah. Well, Benkyo obviously started in the right pen, didn't he? So my main goal was, right, do not let Benkyo catch you. Whatever you do, don't let Benkyo catch you. And then I was plodding along, and then someone jumped on my back. I was like, who the fuck is mugging me in the middle of a marathon? Like, how are they going to get my socks? It's in my phone. It's in the pouch in my leg. The Benkyo jumping on my back. Like, he's like, I'm doing 10-minute miles. I said, well, you better fuck off then, but because I'm not.
Because I'm not. Leave me alone. What point was that? Where did he catch you?
Not far off before, you know, after you come up the magic roundabout and then you bend back into what's on the back into the end, I guess.
Yeah, back over that bridge.
Yeah, so a bit further down on that, but just in that stretch between over the bridge, coming past the prison, and bending round to where all the Lucasade is and all the charity stands and stuff.
Yeah, I know. So
But
about 8 miles in then.
Yeah, that's where my wheels started to fall off, I guess. So Ben, well done. Scott Gray, pains me to say, well done. Excellent. Anyone else?
Well, there's loads of PBs, wasn't it? Matt Regan, Matt Varan, Scott, a few of the other, John Burridge from Phoenix, Alid Hughes run well. Loads of good runs. Them boys now, like I messaged them after. There was loads of them went like 1:23, 1:25. They got to be targeting sub 3 now, Valencia. No fucking around, no excuses. Get after it. You are?
You're going to drive our train? Or you go in? This is your
Fuck
race.
no, I'm going for 2:44:59.
Right, if you can do 2:44:59, you can do it. If you can do it, it's not far between, is it? Sub 3 and 2:45.
I got to run about 25 seconds a mile quicker. But
It's have a
hopefully,
nice little fucking block now, isn't it?
yeah, fingers crossed. Nice easy rest week this week because I am a bit sore and stiff today. My calf feels really stiff. Hamstrings feel a bit thin, but that's probably general fatigue as well from running 26 miles, having not done a long run for 6 weeks. Yeah, I'm away with work Thursday now to Malta, so it might be a nice easy run when I'm there if it's nice and warm in the Runz vest.
Yeah.
Then it'll be just some gym work for a couple of days I'm on board, just easy shit. Tick over and then back on Sunday and into it again for 7 weeks till Valencia. So a nice 5 week of work before 2 week taper.
Yeah.
For the 19 of us get out and get after it in Valencia. There's a few Ponty boys doing it as well, and who else is doing it? Or Geraint from Swansea.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's a few other people I
will
know
be there
doing
as
it.
well.
You are?
Mick Fox will be there as well.
Oh, Mixer, yeah, Mixer.
Yeah.
I know Ben Parks is there, Matt and Kelly. There's fucking loads of people going. It's a big race now, and it's a big one.
Yeah. My legs are feeling all right now. Do you know what? I had a meeting in Ponty today, so I had to drive to Ponty from Swansea. And it took an hour and 10 minutes. I could have done without an hour and 10 minutes sitting down, my legs settling into pain. And then I had to walk up 3 flights of stairs to get to the meeting. And it was mad. I walked into a meeting in work, and I don't really mention the podcast in work because how do you without sounding like a fucking weirdo? I sat down next to a guy and he went, "Wait a minute now. Do you do that podcast?" I said, "Yeah, that is me." He's like, "I thought I recognised you." And then I went to make a cup of tea, and there was an engineer there fixing the sink or fixing the washing machine or fixing something. I don't know what you were fixing. And he was like, "You got it from the Runz podcast." It's such a weird couple of days. Like,
yeah, Jason, he messaged me on Insta to say he's seen you today.
Yeah, Jason, that's it. Jason has been asking about the socks. The socks have gone into production. We've ordered 100 pairs of socks with Racked, I think. They will be coming out in 3 weeks. And I said no. I've said no for so long. For so many people have asked about it. We're doing one last run of the vests, but we will need to get 15 orders on the vest, but the socks have been ordered. So yeah, but this is the fucking last run of the vests because we want to bring another one out next year, so you can't keep buying this one. Yeah.
We do appreciate the support. It's fucking mad. People are asking for the socks, vests, whatever. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, we do appreciate it. I know he sounds like he don't by saying I've said no, but we do.
I do appreciate it. But what I don't appreciate, my marathon training starts tomorrow because I have learned the lesson that I think subconsciously I've needed to be told, and I needed to just run Cardiff on a weekend and see how much of a mess it was because I can't fuck about for marathons. So marathon training starts, proper training starts tomorrow, and then we'll figure out a marathon block from there as well.
Yeah, you can't fudge your way around that, mate, because you're going to be hurting for a long time.
And I can't have everyone looking better than me in my own vest either. I nearly went to change when I seen fucking Nathan Smith's traps in it.
I'm going to put a t-shirt on.
No, I was going around through the industrial estate and someone slapped my ass. I thought, what the fuck is going on? And it was Nathan Smith, and then he went off into the dust, and I never seen him again for the rest of the day.
Love it.
Good weekend, though. Well done on the Welsh Fest. Well done to everyone that done Cardiff off. We're going to take a quick break. I think we haven't got anything else to cover.
No, don't think so. What else is there? What's coming up? Anything coming up? I don't know. No, I think that's it.
Richard Burton, but that's a couple of weeks ago, so we won't dive into that quite yet. Nobody needs to know about that incline yet. If they haven't done it before, we'll fill you in. Welcome back. Me and Nicky are still here, and we are joined by Tommie Runz. Tommie, thank you very much for squeezing in an hour with us. How are you?
No, I feel good, man. Appreciate you all having me. Thank you.
It's been a busy couple of weeks for you, haven't it? You've just come off Berlin, sneaking off to Chicago this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll dive right into that. But what we normally do is throw it back to kind of school, and if you've done sports in school, what like that was like sport wise for you, and work our way back to Chicago then.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't start running until 2018. So I was about 32, 33 years old when I started running. In school, or younger than, like younger years, I was just playing in the neighborhood with friends and played every sport possible, like in that aspect. But played soccer when I was younger. But then, like high school years, I was playing golf. Um, but so it wasn't like super physical. But then after I graduated high school, um, tried out a different side of life and like found my way through like experiences and things like that to just being like super into alcohol, aka an alcoholic, fully fledged, and just found myself in a position where like I needed to make. I was blessed and lucky enough to have the foresight to make a decision at that time to try to get some help, and then got sober in 2017. Started running in 2018 after like realizing I didn't like what I saw in the mirror and all that other stuff, and started lifting weights, then started running, and then it just kind of took off from there and started doing content and stuff. And then it just that turned into me telling my story, and then that turned into brands, reaching out and wanting to do things with me, and I try to make it as meaningful as possible. But here we are, just ran Berlin, about to run Chicago.
Yeah, that sounds yeah. You fit it. That's quite a lot to fit in, isn't it? So
Yeah.
soccer in school, no American football or baseball, basketball.
uh, no, like I mean, we not like or not organized at all, but like I said, I was played a lot. We're a very active kid, like just did all the stuff. But only thing that was organized coming up was like soccer for me. So yeah, American soccer, American soccer. But it was like it then when like Tiger, remember like when Tiger Woods was all of a sudden like he just rose to stardom and everybody was like, I had happened to be like around enough to like I was like at a driving range somewhere and I just hit a couple golf balls and this one like random guy like that was older was like, how long have you been playing? You know, and I'm like, today, like this is my first time like hitting the golf ball, right? And he's like, oh, like you need to play golf because this is like, there's no reason why your swing should be this good. And then I just like stay there because I'm like, okay, well that's cool. And then I started playing and played through high school and then just like I probably could have gone on to be at like some maybe D2 type of school or whatever. Um, but I think at that time I was more like concerned with like making bad decisions and good ones, coming out of high school. So that just kind of led me that way. But I've always been a physical. I've always been fairly fit until like years of drinking, but I've always been like fairly in shape.
Yeah, you're in Detroit, right?
Yeah, just outside of Detroit. Yep.
All right, cool. So then you get through all that, and then you find running.
Mm.
How'd you stumble upon running? Was that come from the gym or?
Yeah, so yeah, it was like I got like when I after I got sober, like I said, I kind of like looked at myself in the mirror and was just like for the first time in so many years, I actually like could like really see, because like after like a few weeks of just no drinking, it was just like you started to realize things, you start like analyzing more because you're more in the moment and you're not as like numb or whatever as you once were, and didn't like what I was seeing. So I started going to the gym, lifting weights, and I got bulked up. I was kind of big for a second. So like that's what like my name Tommie Runz on Instagram came from. I was Tommy Guns for a little bit. For like a year, I was Tommy Guns because like my arms were bigger and all that, and it made sense to be like in the gym. And then about a year into running, or a year into like lifting, I had a challenge to go vegetarian for like 2 weeks, and it was just like, okay, let's just see what that looks like. And I was really in touch with like my body and how I felt and all that because I was like heavy in the gym. And then like a few days into it, I'm like, well, I mean, all I'm doing is eating like eggs and cheese. So then I should be able to, if I just take those away, I could be vegan for the next, 2 weeks. And that'd be kind of cool to say I did it. And then like 3 days after that, like I just felt, I felt amazing. I had all this energy. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, this is a really great feeling. And then I like did some research and watched a couple of documentaries, and I'm like, okay, bet, like, there's no point at this moment for me to go back. So stayed vegan for a bit. I'm still vegan now. So like 6 years later, I'm still vegan. But then it oddly led into me doing different stuff in the gym. Like at one point I no longer wanted to just lift weights, and I wanted to be more like mobile. So I started doing like HIIT workouts and all that, like, jumping up and down, lifting weights, throwing them around, all that stuff. And so I was like getting more like lean, but like strong in different ways. And somebody invited me to run a half marathon, the Chicago half marathon in 2018. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do 13 miles. Like, I'm fit. Apparently lifting weights and running 13 miles are two different things. Very, like, they don't go together.
A lot of people find that out.
Yeah. So like I started like training, like air quotes, like running a couple miles every day, and like maybe 3 miles one day, 4 miles the next day, like running almost as fast as I could, really, because that's what I thought. Like, maybe not like sprinting, but just definitely faster than I should be moving. Ended up getting like a stress fracture in my foot.
Oh.
Doctor's like, yeah, you have a stress fracture in your whatever metatarsal. And I'm like, so like, how do I run this race still? And she's like, well, you probably shouldn't, but I guess if you were gonna, and I did, and I jumped on the elliptical for like the next 3 weeks instead of running, and then went to Chicago and ran the race. And, it was cool that day. And I had to sit out for like 3 months after that. But it was one of those things where like, I never thought that I would do something like that. 'Cause running for me and like the communities that I come from, like especially like, Black folks, we don't see people just like running around for mental health or just wellness in general. Like, people don't jog where I'm from, and so it was just odd to be doing that, but then also even stranger for me to like go to another state to run a half marathon, to raise money for a charity and enjoy it with people that I'd never thought that I would be, with in that moment. And you start at the start line with all the same intentions as everybody else out there. Some people may run faster or slower or whatever, but we all like have that desire to start and then finish that same race. And crossing that finish line and like having my family there, was like, at that point, I mean, I had 2 kids by then and had a good job and done things that I thought I was proud of, honestly. And then at that moment, I was like, this is like the most proud of myself, that I've ever been. Even prouder than like getting sober, which is a strange thing because, so it was like, this is the most proud I've ever been. It was like it was like another step to like, you used your sobriety now for something that's like seems transformative, and then I just was like, I gotta stick around.
Yeah. So that was like the moment. It was like, this is me now running. Like,
yeah. I was like, I didn't know what that looked like, because I didn't have any like models of like what someone that runs for a hobby or whatever activity. I don't know what that looked like. So I'm like, I didn't really think about it. I just knew like, I want to try that again, and maybe next time I try it, maybe I could be a little better at it than this time. And more prepared, possibly. But running has been just such a great addition to like my sobriety, and this life journey in general.
Yeah, it's because by the sounds of it, where you grew up and where you're from is the kind of place we've only ever seen on films. We're not like familiar with that kind of environment that you've grown up. So even to like be where you are now, it's massive steps from where you could have been, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, like my mom, my dad died when I was 8 years old. So like my mom raised me and my sister. single parent, and she did a really good job. So it's like I was never like I would imagine like if you think of like something in the movies, it was like there's a really tough, rough area, and that wasn't my case.
Yeah.
Like she had us, she as much as she could, and did everything she thought she needed to do to make sure that we were in good schools and all that stuff. So it wasn't like we were and which is nothing wrong with those with neighborhoods like that. It's just a different lifestyle, and it's just a different aesthetic, obviously. But after that was always close enough for me because I mean Detroit is a big place, a big city, land mass wise for sure. So it was like one of those things where it was always close enough to be dangerous. Not dangerous in the sense of like you're gonna be, you're in harm's way, but just dangerous enough to like for a teenager to be like want to go see what that's about. I mean, because like my family's from Detroit, so it's like we have grandmas and grandparents that live in the Detroit city limits, which is fine, and they lived in nice neighborhoods and quieter neighborhoods, and because Detroit isn't like this like like we would think because of the news says like so many things about it. It's obviously there's like rough areas, and that's like any city
Yeah, it's anywhere.
in the world, in the world. Like it's not even. So it's just like there's certain spots that are rough, and you just got to mind your business and move like you normally would, and move on. But it was definitely something like a lifestyle that certain parts of that life I like idolized because it was like all the cool people or see, fit this certain, characteristic of like being like in the street, So, but yeah, I didn't have to see that growing up, but I did. Me and my sister, at some point probably like chose more towards like, we want to go see what this like, even though our mother, she broke her back trying to make sure we had every opportunity to like, just go forward. We're like, I don't know. Let's go over here and see like what this feels like, So, yeah. So I didn't have to grow up in that, but I chose a couple weird decisions for sure.
Yeah, but then you chose not to continue as well, which is massive, I guess. And
Yeah.
yes, you running then does that replace? I'm uneducated on the subject, obviously, but does running become an addiction and replace another addiction and as well? Then that kind of thing.
Well, I don't, I guess I'm in like in a joking way. I'd be like, yeah, I'm addicted to running. You know what I mean? Like just because I like it a lot, and and I'm kind of like dedicated to it. So I think it's more of an addiction to me. Is more running is a choice for me, and it's something that I've dedicated to and committed to for me, like because of the gains and the positive things that I've gotten from it. On the flip side, like when it comes to like an addiction standpoint, I didn't have a choice. Like there was no, it wasn't like, am I going to drink today? It's just like what time and when and what in that situation. Like so like I tried my best to like keep, for making sure that people understand that for most people that have dealt with addiction in a strong way, running or lifting or doing anything positive feels like a negative thing to say it's an addiction, because it's like
being naive and uneducated around it.
Yeah. No, I've heard the conversation before, like, and I think it's something to it. Like you're filling time, like, cause that's what it was. Like when I first got sober, it was like, all of a sudden I have energy and time, like, because you're not like sitting around drinking and then you go like, okay, I'm gonna go lift some weights right now. I mean, some people do. I mean, and that's other people's, vibe, but I never like had a drink and then decided to go for a run afterwards, and that was drinking for me was a reason why I did not do so many things, so, that's what for me is like, now I have time and energy to do these things. So it's like, let's do it. But then running for me was like, I think I was in the beginning lifting because I was going to the gym like 6-7 days a week because I wanted to stay like busy. Like I had a job and I had kids, but I wanted to always stay busy. And I felt like I spent so much of my life like wasting time, like going backwards and like just making decisions that made no one around me feel good. So I just was like so committed to like I gotta like make up for like lost everything, you know. And when I found running was much less uh, visual. Like it was less like, you know, when you're in the gym, you're lifting weights, you're like looking at yourself in the mirror. You know, it was more of it was for me. It was helpful, but then it was also to the point of vanity. Um, and there's some type of vanity in all of this for everyone, you know. But it's like running for me got closer towards like that spiritual walk of sobriety for me, where it really is one day at a time, one step, 1 mile at a time. All those same sentiments about like, you know, control what you can control. Like there's so many things I've learned in my sobriety like walk that I use and get reminded when I run.
Yeah, excellent. So you mentioned obviously you were working as well at the time. You're full-time content now, right?
Mhm. No, 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 no. I got a five.
Pump out so much content. This guy must not work as well. This must be full-time.
No, no. Like, I mean, I appreciate that when people say it because that means to me like people think that my content is like good.
Yeah.
Um, so like it's me and my phone, and I'm a quick person. You know, like I just do things fairly quickly. So like some of the content you see is some of it takes a little longer if it's a bigger piece of content, but other stuff is just like I kind of have an idea of what I want to create, and I create it and then drop it and get back to work, you know. So it's like you know, but some of the trips are tough because like some of these trips, like you know, in Berlin or whatever, I leave on like a Tuesday in the middle of a week and then don't get back till Monday the next week. So I have some flexibility too. Like I've been at this company for I started working with them in 2007.
Okay.
So I've been there for a while. So it's like I have some leeway and some trust, you know.
Yeah.
And they know like if I'm on the road and in a hotel somewhere, I'm working or trying to. So if that's flexible, but yeah, and the good thing, and I like the fact like sometimes it's a pain in the butt to have both and really want to go see the world and really want to go like do more to help people see that running is an option, you know, and then also balance work with that. But at the same time, I think the fact that I have a full time job and it's like it's literally how I pay my bills and take care of my family, that I don't have to say yes to every opportunity, and I don't have to create content that works on social media.
Yeah.
If it doesn't necessarily work for me, I don't feel like I have to go that way. I may be like a little like jaded sometimes, where it's like man, I want to go viral, you know. But then does viral content suit like the vision or like the message that I have? Because I don't think my message is special. I mean, there's people all over the world that struggle with addiction, or they're or black or brown folks that want to go into a space that doesn't necessarily look like them and may not feel welcome for them. But so I don't think that I'm alone in this. But since I have those experiences, I think it's super important that I stay clear and like intentional about sharing the way I share to make sure people see and feel themselves like in my story.
Yeah. Very similar to what Herm said when he was on with us as well, really. Because he works well and it doesn't come with the free healthcare as well, content creation, I guess.
No,
No.
no, it definitely doesn't for sure. I mean, if there's somebody that's like hiring for hiring a Tommie Runz somewhere, and they also throwing out some healthcare for a family, that'd be sweet. I'll take it.
I'll take that job.
So
Yeah, I know, right?
Chicago half, the first one.
Yeah.
What was the time?
I think it was 1:49 and some change. So and somehow I think I remember like in my head I wanted 1:30, which is wild. Like I don't even know like why I said 1:30. Like it was just like, oh, I'm gonna run 1 hour and 30 minutes, and I don't even know if I ever even did the math to see how fast that would be. Yeah, like I don't even know what the pace on that is. I just like, okay, I could do that. And I think I even wrote it on some shoes that I had. Like it was ridiculous. But like that was out the window fast. But then at the same time, I'm like, like social media is a weird thing. Like we talk about how it's like it's so bad for kids, and You know, it's bad for us because we're always on it and all, all that. But at times, though, like if it's used right, correctly, it can be a big help because, posting stuff on like Facebook or Instagram about me going on a 2 mile run and being proud of myself, and people also being randomly proud of me too, like, and give me a like or give me a comment on Facebook. That's really what can help people just continue to build momentum. And so it's like super important for us to give attention to like things that maybe matter a little bit, and give attention to people that are trying to do the right thing with their lives and maybe even trying to help other people's lives. A lot of times we have like a way of sending all the attention to super negative, and terrible in the world, and then also like goofy, so it's like we have this weird attention for these things, but then meanwhile, like there's all this good that's like happening right around us. It's just not as it's not as like grandiose as like Tommie Runz going to Berlin. Like that's what I'm gonna like. But then there's somebody that's also just started running that all they need is like 10 likes, and that just gives them a reason to run tomorrow too, so
Yeah, because I ran Cardiff half this weekend, the half marathon.
oh, you just did.
I ran the Cardiff half. I neglected my training. I do it all the time. I'm the inconsistent side of the podcast. Nicky ran a full marathon in 2:56, and I ran my half in 2:37. Find me two podcast hosts with such a massive difference in their running. I went into work today, and one of the guys older than me there, he's like, "How did you do?" And I was like, 2:37. He was like, "That's a good time." I was like, "Well, it's a good, yeah. If you think it's a good time, that's great." And he's like, "I think I'm going to do it next year." And it's like, "Well, do it, yeah, let's do it because it's a good time. It's better than a DNF, isn't it?" But you said,
Yeah.
said this week about feeling the two emotions at the same time. I think, wasn't it, where you can feel like you've done well, but you can also know that you can do better as well. You don't have to feel. You can feel two emotions at the same time around it.
Yeah, exactly that, because you could be like, oh, it's a 2:37 half, and then you shrug it off, and then but it could have meant something to somebody else, which it did. And if he runs next year, that's a step in the right direction. You've changed the world more than most people, and a guy named Carl Nard from DC, he ran into me in Berlin, and he was like, he stopped me for a second. He's a photographer, like epic photographer. But he stopped me and was like, we were talking, and he's like, "What is your goal?" And I told him my goal for the race. And then he's like, if you hit your goal, great. That's awesome. It'll help a lot of people. If you don't hit your goal, still great. How you respond to not hitting your goal can help a lot of people, and maybe even more people that resonate with you. So be careful how you respond to both of those, And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I shrugged it off. And then I thought about it more and more, like, that's crazy, because that's really the truth, because we all want the better. We all want to do great. We all want the podcast to have 10 million subscribers. We want all these things. And if it doesn't hit that, we devalue it ourselves and then share it in a way that's devalued. And then no one can take the good from it because you've already done that for them.
Yeah.
So, I have no idea what just happened.
Yeah, it just cut off. I don't know. We'll just carry on.
Is it going to catch the rest of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was like my computer just turned off and started over.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
two photos, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like I was really happy to have those two photos, and because it just shows that, like, I really was not thrilled, like at that moment, but then I was also very thrilled at that moment, because it's just an opportunity. Like, I mean, I deserve to be there, because we all deserve to be wherever we want to be. But it's like, if you asked me like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there's no possible chance that I would be like in Berlin running the Berlin Marathon again, and like finishing standing up, You know what I mean? And with the 251, like it is what it is. Like, and I'm happy. And I was like, I was just happy to be able to represent the many communities that I have a part in. So I just encourage people to like maybe not like go overboard on patting yourself on the back because nobody wants that, but it's like sometimes you just gotta just share how you feel, and you could feel happy, you could feel sad all at once, and that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you've got to be proud of just anyone in it, just finishing a marathon. It's an amazing achievement. Like to get out there, run that 26.2. Yeah, we all want times, we all want to be faster, but like sometimes you've got to give yourself a pat on the back. You've made it to that finish line.
Yeah. And I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, like there's almost no wasted like anything. You know what I mean? In life, especially in running, like if you go through 2 training blocks and you don't hit your target, 2 times in a row, like that sucks a little bit. But then at the same time, it's like none of those workouts and miles and all that stuff, none of that is just wasted. It's all a part of this journey, and one day it'll all make sense if you just stay with it. If you stop running forever because you missed your goal, then yeah, maybe it was a little wasted. But if you continue on your journey, nothing in life is like wasted, even if it's like bad experiences that we don't want at the moment. As long as you're able to like wake up the next day, then everything can be used like to your benefit.
Yeah. It's a bit like Game of Thrones, isn't it? Everyone was disappointed with the last ever episode. It doesn't mean every other episode before it was shit.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Like it's like, yeah, I mean, it could never take away all the thrills and excitement, of from season 1. Like it's all good. And then now you got like House of Dragons that seems to be doing all right. So maybe they're mildly redeeming themselves,
But let's dive into a spiral after that then. So the content and the old blow up and all the opportunities to work with these brands and the fastest times. How's that all come about? How do you navigate it with the family and the full-time job as well? It must be crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. I mean, I compartmentalize very well, so it's kind of easy for me to separate the few in the moments that I'm doing it. So it's actually kind of like it seems to be fine. I'm kind of handling it here and there, but it's my kids are my daughter's 17, my son's 14, so it's like they're old enough to know to see everything, and they like my reels and stuff like that, and they comment every now and then. So like I know that they're watching, and I know it's cool, and they know I'm not just like out hanging with my friends like at a bar somewhere. No shade to people that people that hang out at bars, but it's like at least they can kind of see what's happening, and then they can read the messages that I'm, the captions that I'm writing, and they see what I'm trying to do. And they're excited about some of the things I talk to them about, or share with them. And then the work thing, sometimes I feel really bad, like it's like, geez, I didn't really work much today or something. But then you just, I think we all have that, whether we're running or not. We have those moments where it's like today was kind of like a lazy day, but I try my best to over index on that, or like, go a little harder. The days that I'm like sitting still for sure.
Yeah. And are they running as well? Are they like, I'm gonna run as well? Is it rubbing off on the kids as well?
Nah. It's like one of my colleagues runs quite a bit, and that's really cool. It's not because of me, like at all, but it's just kind of like some people. It's cool when somebody can kind of like understand what's happening. You know what I mean? Or like the magnitude of like some of the things that whatever. But they're at this point they're friends, and family damn near. So it's really cool to be able for them to like see the places that I get to go to sometimes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, because you do travel a lot, and obviously the big majors. Obviously, we see you've done them. I see you've done Osaka. It must be crazy. Like you even came over to London for a 10K. That was
that was crazy. Yeah, when I got that invite, I'm like, you want me to come to London to run 6 miles? Like they're like, yeah. But it's really just more about like that's part of it too. Like the whole like,
Yeah.
I mean, nobody cares. I mean, we like to talk about time a lot in this running thing, especially like when around Boston. You know what I mean? Like time is a big deal. But then once you like let go of like what fast means and what slow is and all these other things, nobody really cares about, you know, like how your speed. Cause like people go, oh, you're gonna go, they're hiring you to run. And it's like, no, they just want me to be there, you know, like and be myself there, you know. So it's like anybody that's like listening or whatever, it's just go on your own journey when it comes to speed or distance or whatever it is, whatever your thing is. What's important is like how we all experience it differently and share it differently.
Yeah. And you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
your 6 stars. You've got your
Can you then?
do you hear me? You've got your 6 stars, and you're going
Mhm.
round again.
No, I mean, I'm not going around again on purpose. I got my 6 star in London this year, but I had
Yeah.
already done this year. I had already done Tokyo, Boston, and London, and then I got the 6 star in London. That was my third time doing Boston. So the only two things that Tokyo and London, I've only done once. But I had done the first three, and I'm like, if I could get into the next three, I'd be able to do all 6 in 1 year. And I'm like, that would be really cool to be able to just do them all in 1 year, not get another 6 star, but to complete them all in one calendar year. And that's what I'm doing now, which is like, so I've already run the first four. Now I just got Chicago in like 5 days, whatever, 6 days, 5 days, 6 days.
Yeah.
And then New York after that. And New York will be really cool because New York will be like New York's the party marathon anyway. You know, like that's the big party. And that'll be exciting. But then also I had had the opportunity to secure 3 bibs or 3 registrations for a New York City Marathon after it closed. I was able to get 3 bibs and raffle them, or like kind of raffle them off to specifically black and brown runners that hadn't run New York before. So I was, even though it's only 3 bibs, it was just like whatever I could do to use this like platform to give back, as opposed to just using the platform to get more for me. I was like, I used some pull and was like, hey, I'd love to do this. I'd love to get back to the community. How many ever bibs you can, this, whatever. And the people that helped me do it were like, hey, we got 3. We can give you 3. And I posted it and didn't ask anybody to follow me. I didn't ask for you to share it or anything. All, if you want to be a part of it, if you want to win a spot, then just email me your story, you know? So take it off the platform. This is not for me. This is not a clout thing. I'm trying to help. And it was actually like everything worked out, like, and I got more followers and stuff like that. But I got so many stories of like black and brown folks that are looking to do that race that have amazing backstories and amazing people and just doing real things in the world, which is really humbling to be able to read those things. But then it was tough to pick. So we narrowed it down to this many stories or whatever. And then we raffled through the names of that, like in a random generator. And the 3 people that are running, they'll be there this year. Hopefully, I think I'll be able to do like a panel discussion or something like that with them, with pioneers here. It's a black owned brand, apparel brand here in the States, in Boston. But we'll be able to do a panel with them, hopefully, and because they're everybody that's running, the 3 that are running are going to be wearing pioneers kits, which is also really cool because like not only is it black and brown folks that won, they're going to be wearing a black apparel brand. It's just works out really well for all of it around. And so I'm excited to see them have that experience and be with them for that.
Yeah,
let's say New York is a party.
Yeah.
Nicky's done 5. Do you know anyone that can get Nicky into Tokyo? He's done 5 in sub 3 and he can't get into Tokyo.
Man, Tokyo, I like honestly, Tokyo was a wild blessing for me to be able to get into because I had got invited to do Osaka, and I'm like, okay, if I'm already
Yeah.
there, I'm already gonna be there. So if I could get a bib, that'd be sweet. Like I don't need a flight. I'm gonna be there. So if you can help me get in, that'd be great. So like that was kind of like I was gonna say like buy a ticket to Tokyo, but that's an expensive flight to go and cheer.
That is,
But
yeah, very.
yeah, so it's like I yeah, that was a really dope experience, and I was lucky enough. So I did Osaka, and then 7 days later I ran Tokyo.
Yeah.
So maybe you go sign up for Osaka and then like hit some
Yeah,
people up.
Osaka, and yeah,
Yeah,
someone will throw me a bit while I'm
yeah.
there. Yeah, have to think about it.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling now this week coming up Chicago? Recovered well from Berlin? Ready to go?
Yeah, man. I was actually told somebody I feel a couple of the runs, and maybe I'm just bouncing back really well, but I was feeling better than I did right before Berlin because I was dealing with a few different things, and it was like a slow like grind to be ready for Berlin. And I feel right now I feel amazing. I feel like I'm ready to go again. I'm gonna go after it. I keep like teasing out like Project Send It in Chicago. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna start off where I think where I'm gonna be comfortable, and then see what happens from there.
Nice. Good course as well, Chicago. That's what I PB'd. So, as you know, you've done it.
Yeah. I did it once in 2022, and I didn't PB, but I wasn't like trying to that day. But I know it's a flat course. It gets a little quiet, later in the race. Um, but Calvin Kiptum last year, rest in peace,
Yeah.
Calvin Kiptum tore it up last year. So I've been watching that on YouTube just to like get the inspiration again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All the best in Chicago. Keep doing everything you're doing because it's amazing. Your content. I still don't believe you. I think you are a full-time content creator. It's class.
Yeah.
So brilliant work, excellent content. We'll take a
Yeah.
quick break and then dive back in for some questions on some this or that, and then we'll let you get going. Is that okay?
Yeah. Sounds good, man.
There we are. We'll be right back. Three, two, welcome back. This or that time, couple of questions, and then we'll let Tommie get on with his day. Nick, what have you got?
Okay, here we go, Tommie. So, what do you prefer, this or that? Summer or winter training?
Summer.
Summer. Nike or Adidas?
Oh, it depends on the race. It depends on the race.
Yeah, you. Berlin you had the new Adios, didn't you?
Yeah, I had the Evo one. But
Evo one.
the Pro 4 is. I'm not saying I should have worn it, but I could have worn it, and it would have probably I'd have had a good day too.
Yeah. Okay. For the majors, the European ones or the US ones?
Ooh. Man, I don't know. It's got. I'm sorry, it's got to be a tie because they all have like their one that's good, and they all have the one that's kind of crap. But London and New York are just so good. Like London is my favorite major to run because it's got like the New York like loud energy, but it's flatter, so it's like you can enjoy it a little bit more and you can kind of go for it.
Yeah.
But I'll say that London is my favorite out of the six.
Yeah, New York's really tough. I found I lied in it last year, and I really struggled. Like I was.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
Yeah,
Queensboro Bridge is a nightmare.
Yeah, because it was from there I was done.
Yeah,
I was done.
yeah. That's it.
Just about scraped under the 3 from there. It was a long way home.
That's it.
Right. Next up, Miles or K's?
Miles.
Good man. The right answer. And last one of our favourites: shorts or half tights?
Half tights.
Again, the right answer.
Yeah, only half tights only, man. Half tights only.
Yeah.
There we are. Right, we've got some questions from Alex Hermanson, Aubrey Running, and Kafuzi. We'll start with Alex. He's got 3. What is your favourite place to eat in London? Are there any special guests you eat with there with emoji eyes?
My favorite, my favorite place to eat in London. Um, I can't even remember the name of it now, but it's this ramen place. Uh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's this ramen place. It's like near Piccadilly Circus or whatever one of those squares is. Um, but I had dinner with my mom there for the London Marathon. I had dinner with him there for the 10K London, and they were both a really great company. So one day I'd like to have dinner with him and my mom at that place.
Next up, if you were running a 100-mile race on the road, which shoe would you choose?
Right. If I had to say something right now, which is what this whole thing is about, it probably would be oddly the new Evo SL from Adidas. I've been running in that shoe since I got it in Berlin, and it's soft and quick and supportive and all that stuff. Like, I think I'd have to rock with that one.
Okay, cool. From Mike Coe, best marathon city for vegans.
Best marathons for vegans. I would probably say like the cities. Probably Berlin because we were just there and it was amazing. Like every place we went to had a vegan option. There were restaurants that were fully vegan, and it was just everywhere I went, I was happy with the option. So yeah, I'd have to go with Berlin. Oddly, because I thought London would be the place for that, but it wasn't. So Tokyo is good too, though. But we'll go Berlin.
From Aubrey, rate your 6 stars in order.
Oh, like the favorite course. So London, New York, Boston, Chicago, Berlin, or Berlin, Chicago. What's the last one? Tokyo, yeah. Tokyo was cool, but it was just like it was just a different vibe. It was a little quieter. It was a good race. It wasn't like nothing wrong with it, but I think that Chicago and Tokyo, I'd have to flip flop. When I run Chicago this weekend, I'll have to maybe revamp that, but we'll see. So yeah, Chicago and Tokyo are the last two for me.
This one I want to know the answers to this as well because I sent a couple of these reels to Nicky and saying how is he doing this. From Aubrey again, I think he's trying to get insider information. For viewers who haven't seen the post-run Insta stories, how do you do them to show your Strava stats while you're taking off your shoes?
Oh, okay. So I always thought I started doing that, and then after like a few days, I'm like, people don't want to see this, but people kept saying they liked it, so I just kept going. I haven't done one in a little bit, but I guess I'll do one today. Yeah, I use CapCut to place the images, and then you just get rid of the background in them in CapCut. But like, yeah, I could give you like a tutorial, but it's super simple. Like you just remove the background from each of the screenshots of the stats and just place them where you want to.
There you go. And the last one was off Alex as well, but it's a bit more of a serious one. So, what are some of the things you tell yourself to get over the tougher parts of a marathon mentally?
I guess it really depends. Like, it's sometimes I remind myself of where I've been, and what I've gone through worse things. Sometimes I remind myself that I decided to do this. This is my decision, and it's a good decision for me, even if it's terrible in the moment. And sometimes when it's rough, you decide that today I'm okay with today not being the day, and you change your perspective around that moment. But I've been trying to like get better at the mental side of it and learning more about like sports psychology and things like that, just because I do want to get faster and I know that it's going to require a lot of me mentally. And one of the things that always stood out to me was this book. I believe it is How Bad Do You Want It? It's an audiobook that I got. And the one thing was like, there's two things happening. It's how how the athlete feels, and then how the athlete thinks about how they feel. So it's like you're gonna feel all types of different things in a race, and it's up to the moment you decide to put a negative thought behind that feeling, then everything starts to spiral. Because if you expect it to hurt at mile 10 in a marathon, and it does, you're like, okay, cool, we're here, it's fine, we expected this. But if you expect to get to mile 23 and then it gets challenging, and it happens at mile 16, 6 miles later than the first example, it happens at mile 16, it's over, because you're like, oh my God, today's not the day, and I'm terrible, and this is trash, and I shouldn't have walked to all those pop-ups this weekend. You start thinking of all the bad stuff. So it's like, try to remember that how you react and think about how you feel is almost as important, if not more important, than how you actually feel.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's good advice.
We've got two staple questions, nice and straightforward. We need one song from you for our playlist. So one song you like at the moment you run into, or one you always go back to.
I'm gonna probably go with Nipsey Hussle. Gonna go with Double Up.
Double Up. Tom, how old you, Tom?
40.
Because when I was doing the cover art, I was like, do I go cassette or do I go CD?
I'm so glad you went CD, because if you went cassette, now that I know why you went CD, if you told me that and you went cassette still, I'm like, bro, like, this guy doesn't even like me. He thinks I'm like 50, 60 years old. He throwing like cassette players at me. Yeah, I love that graphic was so sweet. I was like, I need you to print a real CD. I don't know what's gonna be on the CD. I need that really printed. It was super dope.
Good. And the last question is, who would play Tommie Runz in a movie of his life?
Oh man, I don't even think anybody can, man. I don't think anybody can. I think all the I don't know. I never thought about that. I don't know. I gotta think about that a little longer. I mean, Denzel's a little too old right now. I don't know if he could go. I don't know if he could play me, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, I'll give you a pass.
Crazy. That's crazy.
So good. Thank you so much for your time.
No, what? Yeah, no. Alex Hermanson could definitely play me in a biopic for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that would be it. He's got the vibes down for sure.
Yeah, he'd be class in your Tommy Guns era.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that we could. He would be the Tommy Guns era before the Tommie Runz, because yeah.
Tommy Guns reminded me of Rocky V was an underrated film. Because there's Tommy Gunn in there, the kid in Rocky V.
Yeah.
Underrated film in the Rocky franchise. I enjoyed that one.
I don't even. It's so underrated. I mean, I don't even remember. I don't remember that one. Because I feel like that movie and like a few like Die Hards and like Blood Sports, they all kind of like just ran together, and I don't know which one was which.
Yeah, all those 80s sort of suits.
Like the Godfather series, like you pretty know, like you don't like mix it which one was which. It's like you know which one was which, in your memories. Like if there was like 3 Scarfaces, they'd all just be the same thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good big render.
Yeah.
Tommie, thank you so much. All the best in Chicago on the weekend. Keep doing what you're doing. And that's about it for me. Nick, anything else?
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Tommie. Thanks for your time again. Go smash Chicago. I'm sure hopefully you have no cramping issues with that hamstring, and you get around and send it. And all the best. And that's it from us for another week, and we will see you on the start line somewhere soon.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.